Now we got autofocus in this bitch. So while I'm editing, if I see the thing go out of focus, I'm gonna punch my screen. All right, welcome to the podcast.
Oh wait, so are we starting?
Yeah, that's it.
No,
there's no introduction. I still don't have one. Maybe the 10th podcast. We'll figure it out.
Don't worry.
Is this your first podcast?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This guy.
So wait, is this like an interview?
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Okay, this is my brother, everybody.
Nice to meet you guys.
He's my older brother by 18 months.
Still older.
We grew up skinny, and we want to tell you how we bulked
up.
And
they're fucking huge!
Yeah, well, I'm okay.
You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
Little by little.
Yeah. But we wanted to talk about fitness today because we felt like it was a very important topic in our family. And I wanted to ask Nick some questions about his fitness goals and aspirations. And we talked about this so many times, so it's kind of more for the cameras. I know exactly what Nick wants and his goals and needs, but I guess it's more for him to share it with everyone else, or his audience. So
exactly. So hopefully some of my fellow followers are watching this and listening, just because I feel like I like to build that community with you guys, and I don't want to just be like that guy that you guys just always look at. I want to engage with my clients, with my followers, and with even your followers, because at the end of the day, Speciale Fitness is not just mine. It's literally our families. That's why I named it that.
Okay, so I want to ask you why you wanted to get into fitness.
Few reasons. One, pretty much everyone knows I was that athlete in the family.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything I did, I was always the one that would take on the sports, take on the fun stuff.
Every single fucking sport, no matter what. It could be lacrosse, and you could still pick up the lacrosse racket and still be better than me.
Exactly. So that's when I decided, I'm like, I gotta have a career in sport, and I realized that being an athlete just wasn't for me, but I'd love to start training people to make them either become an athlete or just become more healthy.
So maybe you could get on the topic of your backstory of being an athlete, right? Before you were big.
Pretty much, I was always in sports, mostly soccer. When I used to be back in high school, I actually tried out for the basketball team and volleyball team. Both of those teams I didn't make the cut. Mostly just because of my size, I noticed. I was pretty good with the techniques. Only issue was I was literally 5'4", and there was guys that I was competing against that were 6 feet tall. So obviously, as a coach, you'd want someone taller. So that hit me hard. And then from then, I really noticed that I couldn't lift weights. It was just very embarrassing. Whenever I'd go to the gym at school, I'd be that one that couldn't even lift the bar. So I started to think about it. I'm what can I do to change? And that's when I started to get a membership at the gym. I worked out for a couple of years, but the major thing that I regret is not following either a program or having someone mentor me in this fitness this fitness pathway.
For sure. I felt with me, especially, I started fitness. Well, we all, as a family, we kind of all started fitness a little bit younger. We all wanted to get big. I guess that's just because when you're skinny, and it really does a toll on your confidence level. It's you feel weak inside, and you feel insecure. And when I was in especially in grade 8, I remember Fuzi's did this 90-day journey. I was super committed, and I was so excited for it. I didn't really know what workouts to do. I remember going on YouTube and going to every different Athlete Next and all these other people and studying it. And then, but no one really understood. No one really gave me a blueprint, right? Mm-hmm. So I was going through these workouts, and I was creating my own workouts, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I just go through these workouts. I used to play do playlists legs day, squats, and lunges, and all this shit. And I used to go. Remember we took the Vespa. I remember when I first started vlogging. I vlogged those Vespa rides, me going to the gym, and it's crazy because I thought I was growing.
Yeah.
And then it kind of really hit me. I remember one day, Yanni, I was talking to Yanni. I was on the bike. I was crying. I was Yanni, I'm working out, and I'm not growing, and everyone else is bigger than me, and blah blah blah. And Yanni's are you eating? Are you giving me tough love? And I was just it sucked, but I do remember wanting to grow.
Yeah.
And Fuzi was a huge inspiration for fitness. That's why I love that guy so much. But I always wanted to grow, and I'm in grade 10, I'm going to be the most attractive self because I'm going to get my braces off because I had a gap in between my teeth, the Grand Canyon, remember that bitch? And I had bad teeth. I was skinny. I was all around insecure. I got fucking tortured in like grade 5 with my long hair. So getting bigger was like the main thing. It's like, oh, I want to be more attractive, and if I have muscles, then I'm more attractive. But along the way, when you get it, obviously it does a toll on like being more attractive. But it was more so for myself. Like I felt better when I got bigger, not because I had to impress others. It was just because I felt comfortable waking up in the morning and feeling like stronger. I don't know.
No, a lot of people look at fitness just for the appearance and the aesthetics, but for me, it was like it took a toll on my life because that's what made me start the business I did today. Because what I realized is if I'm able to lift those 200 pounds from my chest up to the sky, then that means I can bring my business from where it is in my basement to a multimillionaire studio or whatever I end up doing.
Before we cover like your business aspect, I wanna really, because I made a video for Nick about his transformation. And guys, when I say it's drastic, like it's drastic. Like I was bigger than Nicholas at one point.
Yeah.
And
to be honest, I remember the day that you gave me that Bulk Up Fast book.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell them about Bulk Up Fast because
that took a toll. That was like where the game changer was. I never read a book in my life, and after I read that book, I was so more knowledgeable. I actually understood nutrition because before people would say eat more, but what does that mean?
What do I eat?
Yeah, like what do I eat?
Nutrition is
How
so
much
important.
do I eat? When do I eat? And like what are the foods that are going to make me grow? And I never knew anything until I read that whole book, page 1 to the last page. I took notes, I highlighted, I typed them, and I started literally tracking my food. You know, MyFitnessPal was the best app out there. Still recommend it to anyone that's still confused about their nutrition.
Bro, I can't track food, man.
I know, that's another
so
topic,
hard,
but that's, you want to know something funny? My clients, I give them that app to use. The first month, one person out of my like 15 clients tracked it. And then after, I'm like, I need these people to start tracking their food because that's the only way that they're going to get results. You know, I know, just my clients don't. And obviously, I'm not big enough in my business to actually get a meal prep business to give them food. So the only way that I can track it is through meal prep. So I told them, I'm like, I'll give you a free scoop of protein powder. All you have to do is just track your food because I know you can come in my gym 5 to 6 times a week, train with me, but if you're not eating properly and if you're not eating the amounts of protein, like the grams, there's no point.
And that was the main thing. When I worked out before, I didn't eat properly because I didn't know what to eat.
No one knows.
And it was such a tough hump to get over. But yeah, that Bulk Up Fast video, that's exactly why I bought it. I used to do calisthenics, and I actually liked it because the weights always got me sore, and I didn't like it. It was unnatural, but the body weight, I felt like it could like progress easier. So I bought this program of the calisthenics, and then this guy emailed me and he shouted this guy out about like the Bulk Up Fast and stuff. And I read this whole ad. It was an ad. I didn't know it was an ad. It was like, it felt like personal, and the way the guy advertised it, his name is Alain Gonzalez.
Yeah, that guy's a G.
And he wrote a whole book, and it was a personal book about where I was, where you were, right? And how to, from skinny to fat, and like, or skinny to the bulk. And and he taught me a lot, and it got me on a wave. And that first month, when I followed whatever he said, and his program, bro, I gained 4 pounds, and that 4 pounds was the biggest accomplishment of my fitness journey, because that I mean, when you were like super skinny, and that first like month, and that gain, that growth, was like, holy fuck, it's working. This shit's working. You can
see it. Like, you look at yourself in the mirror, and it's just like, I'm growing.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm getting stronger. It's like I'm literally growing size on my body. And that's what people want. Yeah. Because there's muscle and then there's size. You can grow all the muscle you want by working out. You're not going to gain the size unless you properly fuel your body with the amount of macronutrients and micronutrients.
Exactly. So, like, and you were a picky eater.
Yeah, that's what very surprised. Like,
so why don't you tell the story about like your tonsils and like your
back in October last year?
Yeah.
I had a problem with my tonsils. They were literally 2 golf balls sitting in my throat. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even breathe. I was like, and it wouldn't even go down my passageway. So what happened is I went to go see a throat specialist. He said my tonsils need to be removed, but it's very dangerous because I'm 20 years old. And normally you get them removed when you're like, 5 years old? But I couldn't handle it anymore because anything I'd eat, I'd have to eat in like little chunks. So I told my mom, like, let's just do it. I got my first surgery. It was good until the first like hour sitting in the recovery room. Apparently, because I just finished surgery, so I was still like not even there. My mom came into the room and she's like, Nicholas, like, you're throwing up a lot of blood. They need to send you back in. So I was like, what the hell's going on? I just had surgery. So me being all drugged up, went back in the surgery room for my second surgery. And after that, I couldn't eat for like a whole month. So imagine being so hungry and not being able to eat for like, what is it, like 2 weeks? And then I had to go back for another surgery because what happened was I was in my room. I really wanted food. And what did I do? I had a little bit of something that wasn't liquid because I was only allowed to eat liquid. So I had just a little bit of solid food. It cut one of the stitches in my throat, threw up so much blood in my house. So I got an ambulance, rushed me back to the hospital for my third surgery. Then I couldn't eat for another 2 weeks. So imagine 1 month without eating any solid foods. From me being the most pickiest eater, I was able to eat anything and everything, and I didn't give a shit how it tasted, how it looked, how the texture was.
It felt like a new appreciation for
food.
Like,
couldn't you just imagine not eating for a month? After that, it's like, no matter how picky I was, I ate everything and anything. And now...
That was kind of like the blessing in disguise, though.
Yeah. And now when I post a picture on my story of, like, zucchini, I have aunts and uncles, friends that are like, since when did you start eating that? Like,
this guy didn't eat fruit for a whole fucking now I can 10 years, munch. Bro.
Obviously, I can't eat everything because I'm still kind of picky, but that surgery just got me to see, like, stop being such a picky eater and just eat it.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the day, food is food. But yeah, there's even people that I train now that were just like in my shoes, how I couldn't even, they were scared to eat foods or like they were picky about foods. And I'm like, trust me, eat it once, it's over with.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't, bro, there's so much options for food.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like fruits, I just can't stop fruits in general. Now it's like, sometimes I'll eat apples. I still have blueberries, oranges, tangerines.
A little bit of baby pear.
Okay, no, that's another story.
But yeah, so now that we like know about like your nutrition and stuff, because nutrition is probably like the peak of, and in general, like of getting size.
Yeah.
Let's move on to like your gym, like the gym downstairs. What did you?
You've literally seen from like the beginning to like end, and like you've literally made fun of me for like changing every time, but like it's all part of the process.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember. Do you remember that one time when I literally brought mats from downstairs in my room?
Yeah.
And I built that gym in my room?
Yeah.
Like I brought the fucking bench underneath my desk. I brought those weights just chilling in my closet. And I had full-on mats, like gym mats, in my bed. So that's what I mean. Like, that's when I knew this is for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I went out of the way and built a fucking gym in my bedroom.
And it's not even big. Your bedroom's like the smallest.
My bedroom is like half of this room.
His bedroom's the smallest of all of ours.
Yeah, and the funny part is I did that right before an exam. Like, that's how you know. Whenever I want something, I'll go out and do it. And that's what I realized. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take this to like the next level. So it started off like just a regular gym. There was no flooring.
Because we had a gym, but it was a dad gym.
Yeah,
it was like tucked into the corner. Yeah. Dad uses the chest press machine every month or so.
Not even to this day, after like him having a son as a fitness trainer, I'm still begging him to jump on that elliptical. But
no, but he goes for his walks.
Yeah, he goes for his walks. The walks are important.
Yeah.
But so pretty much what happened was I never even thought about being a trainer. I literally was just like, I want to work out to better me. And then I started to see results. And I was like, holy shit, people are starting to notice. Like, Nicholas, what are you doing?
Yeah, me too. I was just kind of like, fuck.
Yeah, like everyone
He's getting bigger than me. No!
yeah, because like you've been going off for so long. But the thing is, like, all during quarantine, that's all I do. I'd wake up, work out, eat a whole bunch of food. At nighttime, work out again. Obviously, I still took my rest breaks. I still slept well. But I was just like dedicated to get results. Because can you just imagine for like 3 to 4 years, you're working out, but you're never seeing results.
Yeah, I know.
And like you actually want to see results this time, so you'll do everything and anything to make it possible.
What I learned was compound workouts and the effect of compound workouts.
Exactly.
Like the big six that they called it. There was bench press, squats, deadlifts, overhead press, pull-ups, and bent over rows. And all these workouts worked out a huge muscle group in your body.
Not even just one. It
was everything.
Like, you got to realize deadlift works almost every single muscle in your body.
And it's crazy.
Squat works almost every single muscle in your body. Bench press works all of the push exercises. Bent over rows works all of the pull. Like, your back, your biceps. So, like, instead of just, I don't know about you, but when I used to work out without following that book,
bro,
I was just like curls.
Baby. I want biceps.
Tricep push downs.
I want biceps.
And no matter how many times a week I did that, I never saw results. Why? Because look how small my arms are.
Yeah.
There's only so much that it can grow. You need to figure out like the fundamentals,
which
is your body.
Too, right?
Yes.
It's a symmetry.
And like it's like building a house without even building a good foundation. You
Yeah.
need to build a good foundation, such as your torso, before you can build your arms.
Exactly.
And your arms will come by building your chest. That's what I was
about to say. Like, people focus on, like, okay, I want to build my arms. I want to build just my arms. Like, bro, if you have a wide back, your whole fucking body will look bigger. Yeah.
And you got to realize, when you're building your back, you're also working your arms. Because what back exercises do you use that you're not using your arms? Right. It's impossible.
Pull-ups.
You always use your arms.
Bend over rows.
Maybe the focus is mostly your back, but still pulling up is still squeezing your biceps.
The thing I like about Balco Fast was, first of all, it gave you the template to organize, so it pushed away all that stress, and then it also gave you a compound workout, and then it gave you isolation workouts. So you are working out both. I still remember, like, it was like, what? The first day was like bench press, squats, overhead press, bent over rows, and
there's like
curls and tricep pushdowns. Yeah. So you're working out everything, right, from legs to back to arms to shoulders, and you're also doing isolation workouts for your arms, and it was like the perfect balance. And then it was like a 4-day workout routine. Monday, Tuesday, I took a break. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I just followed all the time. And each month increased by sets. So the first month you would have, on day 2, it would be like low reps, high intensity, right? And then on the 3rd and 4th day, it would be high reps, low intensity, right? It was such a beautiful balance of everything, and it was like the perfect beginner workout guide. And then after, of course, like I think I did it for like a whole fucking year, and I got so bored of it. And
that's when I started into that new program.
And then I started innovating from your program. But I think the thing is like, there's so many workout programs to do, and they all work evenly. Yeah. But you gotta understand, like, the basis of it. If you're like skinny guys like us and you want to build, bro, compound workouts are the best thing for you. Yeah. But yeah, let's go on with your gym.
So pretty much, I just built it. I didn't even build it. I just had whatever was there, and I was like, let's just use whatever. And then one of my buddies, one day, he posts on his story. He's like, hey, anybody have any fitness advice? So I'm like, you know what? I've worked out for a long time. I've read that book. I've pretty much like understand the basics. Why not reach out to him and see what he wants? He started talking to me about like he wants to lose weight, and I'm like, okay, no problem. We started having a conversation. He asked me, he's like, by the way, do you personal train? Because this is when I used to post like stories here and there of like just me working out. I'm like, personal train? And I thought about it. I'm like, why don't I just do that? So I started to get into contact with him, and he was like one of my first clients. And then from there, it just started to grow. It started to grow. And I'm like, you know what? I can make this a business. And obviously the gym downstairs before, it didn't look as appealing as it does now. So I'm like, if I'm going to have more clients coming in, I got to start to make it look more
visually appealing. What did you think
appealing.
of this?
It was like around the second shutdown.
So you built, well, we had a foundation of the gym before.
Yeah.
And then you kind of slowly started adding, you bought things from Kijiji. I was always working out after school. So having a home gym for me was a huge turnoff, because it was like, I won't go to the gym if it's in my basement, but I'll go to the gym after school because it was routine. Like every day after school I would go. It was like a routine workout, and then go home and walk home, and it was great. But with the gym downstairs, it's like when I get home, especially after a long day of school, bro, I want to fucking nap. I don't want to work out. So yeah, now I told him, like, yeah, like after high school, for sure, bro, let's do a home gym. But then quarantine hit, and then you got to steal off of like all of your equipment, because Nick bought his equipment before quarantine kind of started.
Yeah, I got really lucky.
So he got like, I think he got a bench press and squat machine. Squat, not machine, but like the rack. Yeah. Bench and squat rack you could do overhead press and etc. 300 pounds of weights and a barbell for $150, bro. And this was right before quarantine.
I literally just wanted to go see how much those barbell or the weights go for now. I can probably get like $500 from them. That's crazy, just the weights. Though. And then I sold the rack for an extra $500. So me spending $150 on that,
you just flipped it.
I literally flipped it to get almost like $1,000. It's worth $1,000
because the high demand of having a home gym, because everything's closed now.
So I really feel bad for that guy that sold it to me.
I would not want to be that guy.
If he waited a month, he could have probably made like 5 times the amount he sold it to me for. But
that's crazy, bro.
That's how you know supply and demand is a huge thing, and that's why, right when COVID hit, I'm like, people are starting not to go to the gym. Let me start to build this gym so that I can start training people, because I know for a fact in the near future, which is to this day, people are going to need a place to train.
Bro, it's sick. Like,
now it's like, the reason I moved so fast is because I had to adapt so fast. Like when COVID started to get very serious and people needed a place to go because the gyms were closing, I had to make sure my gym was like ready to start opening so that I can allow people to come in.
Yeah.
And that's when like I really start to get the mats. I start to get new equipment. I start to reorganize everything so that there's more space. And now it's like I made it so that I can have like 4 people coming inside to train.
All COVID precautions are taken.
Yes, those obviously I make sure like temperature check, sanitary,
masks. Let's just put that in. Let's just put that in there.
Yeah, but like
for anyone who's concerned.
Now this lockdown's making me stop, so I don't know how that's gonna work. I gotta still see how that's gonna go.
Now that we covered nutrition, we covered why you created the gym, we covered your story of like from skinny to big, and our stories about our advice, I guess, to skinny people like us that want to get bigger. Because you really did a whole 180 from grade 12. Like these 2 years have been like a huge change. I'm proud of you too about it. And I want to know, like, what is it that kind of triggered it? What was it?
It was just like a check in reality. I was able to see where I was and where I wanted to be in the future, and it just didn't pair up. Like the things I was doing before, you probably know, people obviously know, wasn't anywhere close to what I'm doing now. It was for the better, and that only happened once I started to realize who I was surrounding myself with. And I'm not going to be like an asshole, but it's completely true. The 5 closest people you hang out with are the people you're going to be like. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, people can do their own thing.
And still be friends with like the guys that just, I think it's just picking your battles, you know, like maybe I should, you know, stay inside and work on my craft and go out with the guys and do shit for no reason, you know. And I think that with your like 180 is like you really focused on like your career goals rather than just kind of letting each day roll by.
Yeah, like almost every day I'd get up, first thing I do is figure out how I'm gonna make this to what it is, whether that be like researching personal training gyms out there, researching the prices, researching how I'm going to put together programs, how to put together a gym, like figuring out where I can even get all this equipment from. Like it was a grind.
Getting your license and
stuff. Like my certification. It's just, there's so many things that people don't realize that goes into this stuff, but at the end of the day, it all paid off. Like I remember the days when like my buddies in the summer were working like 8 hours a day, making like $25 an hour, and I was over here like just trying to build my gym. For free. For free.
And actually being in debt because
exactly, I was literally
the amount of money you were spending.
Exactly. And then I realized, I'm like, you know what? I read a book called The Compound Effect. Imagine somebody just make this amount of money each like month. It's gonna grow like this. But me, yes, I wasn't making as much money at the beginning, but now it's just skyrocketing. So they're still up here, or they're still down here, and I'm all the way up here. And the good thing about what I'm doing now is like this is just the beginning. It's just gonna keep going up. There's no way it's going down.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized like things come slow, like good things come slow, right? Yeah, I can easily just go get a job at the gym, but what is that going to do for me?
Yeah.
That's just going to benefit the gym. Do I want to benefit the gym? No, I want to benefit myself. So the way I benefit myself is starting my own project, which I did in the basement, which hopefully one day is going to be bigger than that, and just working on yourself. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, who are your major influencers when it comes to like building like you as a person and like being better? Because I obviously had like J. Cole and Fuzi and Roman when I was younger, and it took you time to like figure out like what the fuck you want to do, and when you finally figured it out through like being bigger and getting bigger, and I feel like your growth spurt especially did a toll on your confidence because you were always like that short guy wearing Tim's and Christmas photos. but like now that you got bigger and you're taller and you're more confident, who was like the turning point when it comes to like influencers and like role models?
Well, there was obviously a few. A big one was Kevin Hart. His book, The Decision, just changed my life in like from 0 to 100. After I read that book, I realized that every decision you make in life is for the better. Or it can be for the better, or it can be for the worse.
Yeah.
You can either choose to go out with your friends and drink all night, or you can choose to grind and research a new invention, which I just found, that EMS thing. That's gonna make me hopefully a big company one day. So at the end of the day, like, you choose what you want to be like, and that book was just, that hit me hard. And then another one was like Tony Robbins. He's really inspiring, talking about like whatever goals you want, go out there and go get it. And at the end of the day, it just, the difference between everybody else and me, which is like 99% of the people and like that 1%, is we take action. Just like you're taking action on this podcast. Me, I'm taking action in this gym. Whereas like there's so many other people that might have these ideas, but the reason why they don't get to where they want to be is because they just don't take that action. They don't take that first step because they're scared. But just like me, I was fucking scared to do anything.
Yeah.
I was scared to post pictures. I was scared to start advertising on my story. I was scared to start training. But the only reason I'm where I am today is because I let that scared person inside of me fuck off. And I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do with my life. This is what I got to do to get me to there. So might as well just start now.
I think everyone has that in them, and like it takes like a simple, you know, change in their life, whether it's a wake up call or whether it's like that first step, or you know, all these things, or changing your body for the better. And I think what's super important for you is like you knew you had this passion of like, even like back then when you were like grade 8 or grade 12, like you always had like the athletic therapy, you always wanted to be like a sports doctor around there. And now you but you never really wanted to embrace it because you were the smallest one of all your friends. Mm-hmm. You were the skinniest of everyone. How am I gonna be an athlete if I'm getting shoved around by these fucking 6 footers when I'm only like 5'6" and I've just been stuck there. And after like a simple growth spurt and getting bigger, you kind of find yourself, and that's the most important about fitness. It's like it's not only being big for other people. Obviously, it looks better, right? When you're more confident, you take your shirt off, you feel better about yourself. You're fine with wearing tank tops. You're fine with doing all this other shit.
Fine to walk around the whole house without a shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I've been doing that though when I was skinnier, when I wasn't. Yeah. But it's like, it's not only for them, it's for you. Like you really get a change. Like I remember when I get sick and I don't eat and I don't work out and I thin out. I'm like, bro, this fucking sucks. Yeah. And it's like the hardest thing ever to like start. Like when I started working out and I couldn't push, like it's intimidating. It's like a lot of people around you are lifting all this other shit and you're just like, bro, fuck it. Maybe I'll push a 20, but you're not doing the proper form or you're not doing it properly. And then you wonder why.
That's exactly why I got into this personal training aspect, because there's so many people out there that just want to train and lift heavy weights, but they don't have the right form. They don't know what they're doing, and at the end of the day, they think that they're doing it right, but at the end of the day, they're just training their ego. Training the actual muscle group they need to be training, such as their chest, they're training their shoulders, they're training their arms, and their chest stays small. My chest never grew until I figured out the proper way to train my chest, and my back never grew until I figured out the proper way to do a pull-up. So it all comes down to like educating yourself, and that's why as a trainer, I charge what I charge, because I know what I'm telling people is going to change the way they look, the way they feel. They're going to take away injuries, because imagine you're paying for a membership, you get an injury, you don't go for a full month. Now you're paying for that membership, but you're not even going. Whereas like when you come to me, you get results in like 3 times quicker, and you're still able to work out the full time because you're not getting injured.
Yeah, obviously, I think it's like money is also a thing with like gym memberships and stuff, but there's so many different ways and to get big, and it's not even about doing it properly. Because, yeah, of course, doing it properly is very, very important to grow, right? Eating properly, working out properly. It's like anything, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to get good at a fucking math if you can't do the answers properly. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get good at editing videos if I can't sync audio up properly, right? There's practice makes better. But it's more so like you know exactly what their state of mind is because you've been through it before. Exactly. You know how hard it is to just start. Yeah. And with that knowledge, obviously the knowledge of getting the right form, the knowledge of what to eat, right? But it's the mental state. Yeah. The mental state is the hardest thing.
I'm selling them my experience. And the thing that hit me is whenever people would like message me and say, oh, hey, what's creatine? Or, hey, what's a good exercise to do for my chest? That's when I realized like people know me as a fitness guru, and people also are like not educated at all. Like for me, fitness is like at the back of my head. Anytime someone asks me a question, I have an answer for them. But I noticed that like maybe you're a little bit more educated, but like the general public out there, everyone's lost. And if they are, or even if they understand it, it might be false advertising from like some big fitness guru that just wants to sell a product. Yeah. Right? So at the end of the day, I'm selling people based off of my experience and my knowledge, because at the end of the day, that's what people deserve.
I think that you said something when we were talking during lunch. You were like, yeah, like I may not know everything, but I know like 6 out of 10. Yes. Right? That I'm charging 6 out of 10. When I know more, I'll charge 8 out of 10. Yes, exactly. What's worth 8 out of 10 or what's worth 10 out of 10. Yeah. But I'm 6 out of 10. The people that I'm training are 0 out of 10. Yeah, and that's so they're still gaining that. They're still gaining experience.
They're still like, I'm light years ahead of all those people. And that's when like I start to realize let me take this because first off, it's my passion.
Yeah.
Second off, I'm pretty knowledgeable in the field, and third off, it's very important for people to have in their life.
Yeah.
Like there's people out there that do like drop shipping and like forex, but like that only targets a specific niche. For fitness and nutrition, everyone and anyone should be focusing on their health, especially now that you realize all these people back like in their 60s and 70s are getting either like cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes, so many of those other health risks because they didn't take care of their health earlier. So might as well prevent that by being a trainer and then not having any of those people getting those diseases.
And you got so much more of being a trainer too, like teaching in general. Like I used to train my boys when I was working out with them after school. We used to go as a group, me, Chris, Lewis, and James, and we used to just chill like we're workout buddies, right? And we would go and we would do the bulk of fast workout routines, and then showing like the proper form, seeing my buddies like advance and progress in their weight, right? Seeing them lift heavier each and every day. It's like, it's rewarding, right? It's just like we teach swimming, right? And like teaching swimming in the summer, it's like, bro, like this shit's sick. Seeing like these kids not even want to touch the water, and then at the end of the summer they're like a fish. It's like, yeah, okay, you can make so much more money in a small amount of time, which, bro, we're making pretty good money doing what we love too, and like teaching swimming, like it pays good hourly. But besides the point of like the value of money, bro, you could sell stocks and you could do all this shit and you could get so much money, right? But the meaning of it, like the meaning of getting that money and receiving it and like the passion behind it, there's so much more to it. I don't really know. I'm trying to find words to explain it. I'm kind of at a loss of words when it comes to this. It's like money is something like, yo, you could get so much of it, but it's like how you get it will teach you everything, bro. If you're like fucking around with people's money, right? And you're like you're cheating them and then you're benefiting off of it, sure, it's quick cash and shit. But that's not the longevity of it. You don't know the value of money if you're just cheating people. If you're working super hard, like if I'm doing this for free, right? If you're building a gym for free, or spending so much money investing in all this shit, and then seeing the product of like, you know, look at my gym coming full circle. One day I'll look at this podcast, I'll have a whole studio, right? And it's like, bro, seeing this come full circle is like, it's rewarding, bro. That you take nothing out of it. Like all these people that trade stocks and stuff, it's like, yeah, bro, you got money, but like, I hope it's your passion, bro. I hope it's your passion. I hope that you actually enjoy doing it and you just don't see money as a value, bro. Because money won't buy you shit, man. It will buy you materialistic items. It will buy you, you know, things to look good in front of people, right? It'll buy you comfort, which does buy happiness. That's what I agree with. I think money buys comfort, right? To have money, to have no financial problems, buys comfort, and with this comfortable, you could be more confident. You could do this, but you could be confident without money. Right?
Something that I actually want to bring up. You know Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah.
So I read that book, and the biggest takeaway I got from that is, how can you afford it? So many people say, I can't afford it, but in that book it teaches you how can you afford it. And I don't know if you knew, but like every time I used to go with mom, the biggest thing or everything I'd pick out was the most expensive thing. So I knew from there, it's like I need to do something career-wise that can make me buy the things that I want.
Yeah.
Right? If I was just like, well, I'll pick this $20 shirt from Walmart. Okay, but that's not me. Right? I want that $30 to $50 shirt. So I was like, you know what? How can I afford it? Obviously not working for a gym. It's making my business, making my gym. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of downfall, which the first 5-6 months was. But now now on, it's just going up from here.
Yeah, no, it's super important. I think that people also gotta understand, we gotta key in our factor of like privilege, right? It's like we were privileged enough to like grow up in a family with 2 parents and that saved up enough money to buy school, so we don't even know how much money school is because it's already paid off for, which gave us more opportunity to, you know, do what we want, do our ventures, right? Buy camera equipment, buy gym equipment, have the ability to train in your basement. Like the privilege obviously of that helps, right? But it's all about routine, and breaking the routine is also hard. But I can't speak off breaking routine, but I just want to key that factor in. It's like we don't have all the privilege in the world. Our parents are not fucking rich, and you can't rent out a space, right? In Toronto instead of working for your basement because you have money. Like you can't do that now. But we have that foundation set for us, and we're fortunate, and I'm grateful for that. So I wanted to point that out.
Yeah, it's important that my parents actually started. let me do this at all.
Yeah.
Because without that, I have like an example, my girlfriend. She wants to do exactly what I'm doing, but she lives in an apartment. So how far can she take that?
Yeah.
And a big thing with me is I first remember when I started to start YouTube and I started to like try online coaching, and I realized like, why would I do that when first off that's so saturated, when I can start my own niche in my basement and actually train people and get people with the results.
Face to face, bro. Yeah, that's like, so important.
I hated YouTube just because I never felt like anybody was listening. Whereas like I'd much rather spend time on one-to-one and get them the results and make them feel better about themselves, and those people will actually refer me to other people rather than somebody clicks on my YouTube video, probably doesn't even like the video, probably doesn't even do anything but just watch it for a couple seconds and then swipe up. And I was just like, it's not me. Yeah. I'd much rather do something where I can make an impact on people than just waste my time and whoever's watching.
Because there's a lot of time YouTube. For me it's like I like doing these podcasts, and I think I found my niche on YouTube.
Yeah, but the thing is for you are into film. For me, I couldn't even hold the camera.
Yeah.
I couldn't even like edit a video without being like, this looks like shit.
Yeah.
For you, it's like, this is your craft. So obviously I'd start it. But for me, it's like I was forcing something that wasn't my passion, wasn't my niche. Whereas now I like go train in the basement 8 hours a day from like 9 a.m. to sometimes 11 p.m. And I feel completely fine because it's what I enjoy doing. If I had to sit in my room and edit from 9 to 11 p.m., I would be like losing my mind.
But I think that editing for me, it's like, yeah, sure, it's exhausting, but it's a craft, bro.
Yeah.
It's a craft. Like putting effort into these videos. These ones are long because they're long videos and I have to cut them and stuff. But having like those videos I do with like the future videos that I'm going to be posting like this week, because bro, I'm going fucking off. Like I have all these video ideas, and school's done right now. Second semester starting in 2 weeks, so I'm going to utilize this to like just post whatever I have. Those creative videos, like putting a message out and like talking about what I've learned and stuff, and sharing it with people, bro, that's like always been a passion of me.
And I know for a fact there's somebody out there watching that's like, I want to know how this kid started from like just a skinny guy to like running a business in his basement, to soon running a business.
Because you've been through it. Yeah. You've been through it.
There's people out there like, I want to know what the hell this kid's about, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to just message you, say, hey, Nicholas, how have you done this, right? But you releasing this podcast, me putting this on my story, hopefully there is 1-2 kids that are out there like, you know what, I actually want to hear what this guy is all about.
Like it's important, because all these different informations that you get, it's like, oh, eat this, don't do this, do this, and it's like, what the fuck? But this guy told me to do it.
And that's why you need a trainer that's going to be with you by your side.
And that's why I like the bulk of fast, because it just laid down everything. I said, I'm gonna follow this guy.
But
and this
again,
guy only,
sometimes people don't have time to read those. What was it, like 300 pages long?
Yeah, well,
and like even when we did read it, for us it is, but like for some people they want the quick fix. They just want like,
there's no such thing as a quick fix. No such thing. You're gonna have to fucking commit to something, no matter what. You'll like
obviously as a trainer, I can give you the pointers so that you don't have to go out and like find it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, that's why you're paying me for my service. But again, it comes down to you how much you really want the results, how fast you want the results, and I do everything in my favor to get my clients the results they get. Because at the end of the day, I don't really care for people's money. I care for people's results. So if they're willing to go out there and do the work and get the results fast, that makes me 10 times happier than them paying me $500 a month or however much it is.
Ties back also to doing it for like passion, doing something you want to do for passion.
Like and that's the thing, like I can easily go sell an ebook online, but are people really going to follow that? Are people really going to keep up with that? It's like, no. But if somebody has an appointment at 9:30 a.m. on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you know that they're going to get results because they're showing up Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And the visual aspect of it too, of like greeting them, seeing the results, the accomplishments that they're choosing, that you created, you ignited their hope inside them. And it's just like, it's that whole thing is more rewarding than sitting in your room selling stocks for a living.
But it all comes down to passion. Like I only did this because I have a passion for it. Some people ask me like, Nicholas, why the hell are you doing training? Like you could do so much better. But at the end of the day, now I have people in my program looking up to me like, wow, Nicholas, I want to do what you're doing. Because they've noticed that physiotherapy is not the right job for everybody. And the only reason I knew that is because I actually went to go volunteer at a physio clinic, and I noticed that like, I can't do this all day. I can't just sit there in a clinic and just treat patients. I want to get people that want themselves to get better. I'll train them. But for people that are injured, that are like, oh, my leg, like I'm pissed off, like just treat me and get me out of here. Like, no, I want people that are going to come to me that want to achieve better in their life, and I'll help them through it.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot about like achievements and inspiration, like your gym and everything. Now I wanna just do like a little bonus thing about like talking about like the future stuff and like this EMS equipment that you got a hold of. So like maybe like have like a minute of like just summarizing to the viewers what this EMS is.
So pretty much there was this place that just opened up like down the street, and it's called Electrical Muscle Stimulation. That's the name of the brand.
Yeah.
And what it does, it's a bodysuit, and every single muscle group in your body, like all 300 muscle groups, have a pad on it that stimulates it. So let's just say there's pads on the chest, pads on the arms, pads on the legs, pads on the core, pads on the back, and on the iPad, it's connected to Bluetooth, and you can increase or decrease the stimulation of each muscle group separately. And all you need to do is have 2 foam balls in your hands, do simple movements like overhead press or curls, and you can change the intensity to make it way harder or a lot easier. So based off of me and Michael that are bodybuilders, we can go to the intensity of like 20 to 30%. And it's good because if you're not able to go up to 30%, you can still do the same workout. I would just decrease the percentage.
And the time of it too.
Yeah, and it's good because you want them to go through a little bit of struggle with it because it's only a 20-minute workout. And the reason I say 20-minute workout is because imagine 4 seconds of impulses to your muscles, and you have 2 seconds or 3 seconds to break, catch your breath, and then you gotta
back
do it again.
And when I tell you this thing is the future, like it is so satisfying when you, because if you have worked out before and you're not just listening to this like getting inspired, I hope we inspired you for the first half or a quarter of this, 3/4 of this podcast. But this future is like, bro, when you work out with weights, sometimes you could get you want to push a little heavier and you sacrifice your form a bit and you don't feel it as much.
Exactly.
With this, bro, every 3 seconds off, every 4 seconds on, you feel contracting your muscles to the perfect like intensity, and it's like it's a perfect weight every time for the people who work out. It's like every time, you know, when you get that last rep and it just feels good, it's that every single time, every 4 seconds.
It's actually stimulating the muscles you want to.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes when you do bench press and you're using your shoulders and your arms, so your chest never grows. But imagine you don't even have to focus on contracting your chest.
It just does it for you.
There's a pad on there that's stimulating the muscles to make it contract.
Yeah.
And you got to realize 1 second you do 1 contraction when you do a bicep curl. Imagine
The
1
whole
second,
time.
it's 63 contractions in 1 second. So you're doing 63 curls in 1 second. So just imagine how much faster your results will be when using it.
Is that 63 curls?
63 contractions for 1 curl for 1 second.
For a specific intensity?
Well, just any intensity.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more intensity, the harder it's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's like it's stimulating your muscles.
Guys, it's surreal because when you look at someone do it, you're just like, what the fuck are they on? Then
once you put it on and you're like, I cannot start lifting weights anymore.
Bro,
and I'm very lucky to actually, I'm not lucky. I studied and I researched so many things out there coming from like that gym rental space. Now to this EMS. And I realized like, since I'm young and since I have a passion for fitness, I might as well start branding this brand and incorporate it into my gym.
Bro, it's the future, man.
Yeah.
It's the future.
And in Europe, it's huge. In US, it's getting huge. In Canada, it's very slow. But what I realized in life is like, you need to pick up on things that are at the bottom. So might as well start this now when it's low and no one knows about it. Because in the future, I can capitalize and be like, I'm this owner of EMS. Right? So that's why I'm trying to bring it into, like, I spent almost 20 grand on the machine, but I know for a fact it's going to be paid off within the next year. And then the first month, just like building the gym, it's free, but then from there on, it's all profit.
Yeah.
So that's where people got to take risks. They got to see what's out there, and you just got to adapt quickly because, you know, today's technology is just unreal. So why not incorporate that into fitness?
For anyone who wants to get in the gym and are kind of struggling with their like confidence level, what would you
just
tell
get started?
them?
And if you are trying to bulk up, don't focus on weights, focus on the nutrition. That's it.
Yeah. Calculating your progress is huge. Like
Yeah.
weighing yourself every single morning
Yeah.
for like a whole, like a 3 months. Calculating your calories, obviously, and calculating the weight you push. Guys, you got to understand, like, they're like little pillars that push you to want more, right? Not being able to hit a bench, your max bench, and then, you know, doing 5 pounds more the next week. It's like, oh, I'm progressing. Calculating these little progressions are going to make you want to go to the gym more, because it's going to give you a measurable thing to do. If you're just going to the gym, not eating, not calculating shit, don't get me wrong, I don't calculate. When I started doing
that's a big
thing,
help.
I was like motivated, because I was like, I want to get myself to 150 pounds. I'm going to do whatever I can to get to 150. Now I'm at almost 160, right?
And it's very unfortunate for the people that don't track their weight, because you can just look yourself in the mirror and it only tells you so much. But when you step on a scale and it says 170 pounds, you're freaking happy.
Yeah.
So, like, don't just look at the quality, look at the quantity.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my clients. It's very important.
All right, yo.
Let's get it going. We got to go see dinner now.
You got a Christmas dinner. Plug yourself.
My Instagram is Nicholas_Speciale. If you want to follow me on Instagram, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you are looking for fitness advice, feel free to reach out and DM me. I can either help you out, and if you are looking for training, you know where to come. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this podcast and you've learned one or two things.
I think we covered a lot.
And for sure, I'll be back in a few years talking about my progress.
Yeah.
Just know right now, I'm in my gym,
tell
in my house.
Tell your future self something.
I remember when you used to struggle in this point of your life and no one really believed in you and no one saw the future.
Hey, I believe in you.
Of this EMS thing. I promised you in a few years from now it's going to be popping and people are going to look back at you and be like, wow, you were right.
Alright, yeah.
One person at a time. That's what we got to do. Peace out, boys.